wanted to do another quick tutorial for you. I had somebody ask me how to add pockets to the liners of those Walmart tote bags from the video that I did the first time. Once I show you how to do these pockets, it's really simple and you're going to be adding them to all of your bags. I have this fabric here, which I'm going to use to line one of my bags. It's also from the Fabric Cobbler, which is my favorite place to shop. They do have an online site if you want to check them out, or on Facebook. I cut out my liner the same way I did with the Walmart tote bag. It is 16 tall, 16.5 wide, and this square shape down at the bottom controls the depth of your bag. You can change this if you want to change how wide your bag is in the inside at the bottom. For me, I went ahead and left it at the 2 and 2.5. So once you have your liner piece, what you're going to decide next is what you want your pocket piece to look like. I chose to go ahead and do this funky little pinstripe. This is for a best friend of mine, and she loves Jack and she loves these darker colors. So I went ahead and chose this to go with my bag. So this would be the pocket piece on this fabric, just like that. Now what you're going to do is to cut your fabric out for your pocket. You can do this two ways. You have two options on how you want to put your pocket in. You can either cut your pocket out, and when you sew it, it sews into the bottom lining of your bag. Or if you don't want it to sew into the bottom lining of your bag, when you cut your fabric, you want to measure and you want to place it at the top part of that square right there. See that? I've started it right here at the top portion of my square. It's not on the bottom, because this part, when it gets sewed with the other piece, it's going to flip into your bag, and that's going to be the bottom part of your bag. That's the depth of your bag right there. So this will be on the wall of the bag, not at the bottom of the bag, on the wall of the bag. Your second thing that you need to do is you need to figure out how tall you want your pockets to be in the bag. I went ahead and actually cut these. I cut this, I believe, was about 8 inches. Yep, 8 inches, because I want my pockets to be about 7. And the reason I cut it 8 inches tall was because you're going to fold this in at the top and at the bottom to give it a nice finished look. And I'll show you how to do that. So before I continue, I want to show you what you need for supplies. So if you're just now doing this, you need a 1/2 yard of liner to do a 16 by 16.5 lined bag. You only need a 1/2 yard of fabric to do that. You also only need a 1/2 yard if you want to add contrasting pockets to that, or if you want to add, if you have a fabric that's just a plain color and you want the pockets to match the same color as your liner in your bag, just get a full yard. That'd be plenty for you to make both of your liner pieces and your pockets, depending on how much you want to add into the bag and how tall you want it to go. Just get one full yard. If you have scraps, I mean, we love our scraps, don't we? So fabric, 1/2 yard, 1/2 yard. Your sewing thread, I use Gutterman all the time. To me, it's the best thread I've ever used. I love it. You also need some sewing pins, your fabric scissors, and a sewing machine, and that's it. So I'm going to take you over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to show you how to add some pockets. Okay, I'm all set up at my sewing machine. So this is my pocket piece, and again, this is 8 inches tall, and you're going to make it, I forgot to tell you that earlier, you're going to make it as long as your liner, okay? Or unless you want to make a small, just a little pocket in there, you just make it how long as you want it to be. Okay, I want mine to actually fill the side of my wall up. So I actually made it as long as the liner as I am making in my bag. Okay, so what you're going to do, move that over. You're going to take your liner piece and you are just going to fold it in about 1/4 of an inch. And then you're going to fold it in again, another 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so that way it looks just like that. What this is doing is it's hiding all this fraying and giving this a nice finished look. And we're going to sew this like that. So 1/4 of an inch, and then fold again another 1/4 of an inch. And we're going to put that underneath our sewing machine, and we're just going to do a straight stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and actually change this. And I'm just using my brother's sewing machine. I'm using a regular standard needle, and again my Gutterman thread, and a straight stitch. Start off slow. Don't forget to back stitch. And then you're going to keep going until you finish the top. And I'll show you what this looks like. Okay, I went ahead and finished that. So see, that's what that should look like. So again, you folded down a 1/4 of an inch, and then you did another 1/4 of an inch, and then it was a straight stitch all the way through. And I did do back stitch at the beginning and at the end, so that way it holds our stitching. You're going to do that to both this top piece and this bottom piece. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and finish up and do that to my bottom piece, and I'll be right back. Okay, I went ahead and finished that. So your pocket piece should look like this. Both the top and the bottom I sewed. I gave it a nice finished edge on there. Now, if you're doing a smaller pocket, just a little pocket on the bag, you're going to want to do that all the way around. You want to give it a nice finished look. Because when people look in the inside of that pocket, they shouldn't see this fray edged. They should see a nice clean fold over, just like that. If they see that fray edge, it's going to make your work look incomplete. Plus, when you go to sew this pocket onto your liner, you can just follow that same top stitch all the way around to sew that pocket on there. All right, now that we're done with our pocket piece, you're going to take your liner, which is right here, and you're going to put your pocket right on top. And just like how I said earlier, you're going to place your pocket piece right on the line of the top of that L, and you're going to pin it. This is going to be the bottom of your pocket. Match my sides up. Okay. And we're also going to go ahead and pin the sides of it. So it's nice and in place there, so when we go and sew it, we don't have to worry about the fabric shifting. All right, you don't have to pin the top of this, okay? Just the bottom and the sides of your pocket. So your liner should look like this. If you can see that, my pocket piece is right here at the bottom, and it doesn't go all the way to the bottom. That's the depth of our bag, where the depth of our bag is going to be. Okay, it's just sitting right there on top. So you should be able to see that little flap of your bag liner right there. Okay? So let me hold that up. Oops, sorry. Hold that up so you can see it a little bit better. And I went ahead and I pinned it on the sides to hold it into place. And then right there at the bottom. All right, what you're going to do next is you're going to sew right on the line, just like you did with that finished line right there that you've already created. You can go ahead and mimic that line and just follow it all the way down. If you want to make a new line, that's completely up to you. A lot of people won't see this unless they're trying to flip out their bag and clean it out or something. I like to just go over the line that I have, so that way I know it just matches up nicely and I don't have to add an extra line. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sew that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I just want to show you really quick what I was talking about. Here's the bottom of my pocket. Here's the bottom of my liner. You can see the little square back there. My pocket is sitting up at the top part, and I am going slow, and I am going right over that top line that I've already stitched on. Sorry. Swap hands a little bit. And again, I'm just doing a regular straight stitch. Ooh, going off. There we go. You're just going to follow that all the way down. Take my pin out. Keep following that line. All the way down to the end. And then you're going to do a couple back stitches. And then forward again. That's it. Go ahead and lift my needle, pull that off. My Brother machine actually has this nice little cutter right there on the side. Okay, so now the bottom of your pocket is sewed on there. Okay, you see that? And you see the nice finished edging in there? It's not just a frayed piece of fabric. It's a nice little clean edge. Okay, so now what we're going to do next, go ahead and flip that back over. What we're going to do next is we're going to decide how we want our pockets to look. How many pockets you want to put in the bag, however you want to do it. If you're doing it my way, you can sew a line here and create a pocket. You can sew a line here, create 2 pockets, 3 pockets, however you want to do this. I'm actually going to go ahead and sew 1 line here and 1 line here, creating 3 separate sections. And again, this is by your choice, okay? Now, when you're doing this, you can choose if you want to add a little bit more pull up in your fabric. I've seen some ladies do that where they just actually add extra fabric. So that way, when they do their pocket, they leave a little bit of fabric up like that and then stitch it down. Let me turn this. So it looks like that and it makes it like a loose fitting pocket. Or you can just leave it flat and stitch it down. That'll give you a tighter pocket. And I guess you could see that pocket being used for like cell phones or pens, whatever you want. So again, you're just going to measure how many pockets you want to put down on your piece. You can get a ruler. I normally, if I'm going to add 2 pockets, I fold my fabric in half. Oops, sorry. Fold my fabric in half. And I find the middle piece and I pin that, and then when I open it back up, I know where the middle portion of this is, and I know that's an even 2 pockets right there. If you're going to do 3, just measure your fabric, divide it by 3, and then do your 3 separate pockets. Or you can do a small pocket, 1 big pocket, 2 small pockets, 1 big pocket. You can do 2 small lines for pens, another pocket for a cell phone, and then another big pocket. It's completely up to you at this point, but it's your decision. Just make a line going up, and you are going to be sewing into your liner, so be careful. Make sure your liner is nice and flat on your sewing machine. And when you do it, you can pin the pocket closed or pin the line that you're going to sew on so that we can keep a straight line. I'm actually using pinstripe. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow in the line of one of these, and I'm just going to sew it straight down, make it easy on myself. But for you, again, if you want to draw a line on there with a fabric pen or however you want to do it with chalk, just go ahead and measure out your pockets and get them ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and sew up these pockets, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. I just want to show you again how I'm going to sew this. Make sure when you're measuring your pockets that you're paying attention. This side seam, you don't want to measure a 6-inch pocket and then think that this is going to be 6 inches. Remember that this is a side seam and you are going to be sewing on this, so you are going to be taking away however you're going to do your seam allowance. I normally do 1/4 inch, so I'm going to lose 1/4 inch. So make sure you add that into this direction. So if you want to measure this exactly, then do 6 1/4. Okay, so see where my starting point is. I'm starting right here at the bottom line of my pocket. You don't need to start all the way down here, because that's not where your pocket is. You just need to start right here at this bottom line. You don't need to start at the very tip of your pocket right here, because your pocket is closed off right here at this black line. So there's no point in starting all the way back here. Just stay right here on this black line, and you're just going to follow that all the way up. Okay, I'm all done. Now remember, you're starting right here at the bottom where your first stitch line was at the bottom of your bag, and you're stopping at the top of your pocket. Do not keep sewing up your liner. There's no reason for it. You're making a pocket, and you don't need to keep going. You just need to sew in your pocket fabric. Okay, when you're done, you're gonna have nice little pockets in there. Now if you did pockets on the side like how I did, you're gonna have to wait until we sew on the other piece to close off these sides of the pockets. But if you did the center one, then you can already see that you got a nice little pocket there. Now I'm going to show you how to put both these panel pieces together to turn it into your liner and put it back into your bag. I'll be right back. Okay, I got the second piece of my liner done, and here's my other one. Make sure that you take out these side pins that we put in there earlier to hold our fabric there, because now we're going to repin this by putting them together. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your liners and you are going to put them right sides together, just like this. You're going to match it up. There we go. Now you're going to pin the side here. You're going to pin this side. Remember, do not sew or pin this. You are not sewing this yet, okay? Leave it open. You're also going to pin, match those up. You're also going to pin the bottom piece. Here's the bottom of your bag. You're going to pin this. Once you're done pinning, you're going to go back and again do a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And you're going to do that on this side, and on the bottom of your bag. You are not going to sew this L. Leave it open. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sew my pieces together, and then I'll show you how to do the depth of your bag. Be right back. Okay, once you get the side and the bottom all sewn up, you're going to, you're going to take that L shape right here and cut off all your little loose threads. Okay, hold on. Sorry about that, I had to sneeze. Okay, so you're going to take that L shape right there that we didn't sew, and you're going to open it back up. So right here in the in-between of it, see how I made that V? You're going to grab the center of that, you're going to pull it apart, and you're going to open it up, just like that. I'll do that one more time. Here's my L, right here in the center where it makes the V. We're going to open it up, okay? Just like that. And you're going to pull it apart, and you're going to fold the fabrics on top of each other to where you can see the side seam and the bottom seam. And you're going to fold one left, one right, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to take your pen, you're going to put it right in there, and then you're going to do your other side the exact same way. L shape, open it up, just like that. Put your side seams together, side seam, bottom seam, direction this way and that way. Take your pen, pin it, and now what I want you to do is I want you to go sew this, and I want you to go over it at least 10 times. The reason I tell you to go over it that much is because this is the liner of your bag. It's at the bottom corner of your bag where most liners always rip. So if you sew it and give it a nice strong stitch, it's going to be less likely to rip. So I'm going to go ahead, and again, you're going to just do regular straight stitching, just like how we've been doing it this whole time. Forward stitch, back stitch. nice little strong stitch. And you're going to do that to the other side as well. Pull my pen out. Alright, all done. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut this off. And again, for this, I did 1/4 inch seam allowance. It's what I've been doing this whole time. Okay, now once you're done, oh, sorry, I forgot one. Once you're done, your liner is complete and your pockets are ready to go. Here's the bottom. If you did this right, then you should see that will be the bottom of your bag right there. And here will be the sides. See how my pockets meet up nice? And that's it. Now you have a bag with pockets in it. So let's go ahead and put that in our leather tote bag. Be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I had to go find the tote bag I'm going to use. So this is the tote bag that I made for my friend. I'm going to go ahead and take my liner and I'm going to put it in the bag just like how I did the first time. So you're going to flip your liner back inside out. You're going to stick your hand in your liner right at the bottom there, poke out the sides. Okay, and you're going to take the bottom of your liner and stick it to the bottom of your bag. Okay, now what you're going to do, and I forgot to say this the first time, you're going to take the bottom, where you see the bad side of your bag, wrong side of your fabric, you're going to fold in your liner 1/4 inch. This is going to hide this raw edge right here into the inside of your bag. So bad side of the fabric, inside of your bag, fold the good side in down, just like that, 1/4 inch, and you're going to put that up to your bag, just like that. So when you sew this, that raw edge is completely gone now, okay, because it is now in the inside of the bag. So you're going to do that all the way around. And what I do is I only pin my seams and the front and back of my bag. I don't pin all the way around, but that's completely up to you. If you feel more comfortable pinning it all the way around, you can go ahead and do that. But when you're done pinning it, I'll go ahead and pin one side now. When you're done pinning it, you're just going to put it right underneath your machine. Okay. And again, my brother's sewing machine allows me to take out this front compartment so that way I can do narrower projects like this bag or like stockings and stuff like that. I don't know if your brother machine is going to have that, or if your sewing machine, if you're working with a different brand, if it's going to have that. But if it does, mine just kind of slides right out, making it easy for me to take my bag and just slide it right in there. And then when you sew this, you're just going to follow this top stitch line that's already on your bag. You're going to follow that all the way around and over your handles until you're completely done. And I'll show you exactly how that looks in just a second. Let me set up the bag. Okay, I'm right here, almost at the end of my bag, and I just want to show you again. Ooh, let me put my foot down. My liner's here. I'm holding it in place right down there. And I'm just following that top stitch just like that. All right. And I'm almost at the end and I'm going right over that handle. Switch hands really quick. Move my bag. right, couple back stitches. Now I'm going to pull this off, raise my needle up, pull out my pen, cut that loose thread. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull this off of my machine now. Make sure I am not leaving any threads anywhere. Okay, and that's it. Your bag now has pockets in it. Really easy to do. And like I said, once you get it done the first time, you'll want to keep adding more pockets. All done. Well, I hope you found this tutorial helpful. And if you have any more questions, just let me know. Thanks.